Hello. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you someone who wants to get healthy, wants to lose weight, and just can't seem to figure out how to do it? Or you're a little overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, or everything you've done just doesn't seem to work, or if it does, it doesn't work for very long and all your weight comes back plus some? Or you're getting all this information from everywhere through the internet and you don't know what's true and what isn't? Well, let me just tell you, I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer. I'm a family medicine and community health physician, and I'm a weight care expert. And I myself have lost over 100 pounds beginning 20 plus years ago. I've never gained my weight back. I've just steadily lost here and there for various reasons, and I'll explain that later. But I often see people getting really frustrated and losing hope, and mainly because they're just simply doing the wrong things. And there's really three simple reasons why I see the most common reasons why I see people struggling. Number one is they drop their calories just way too low. We've been told that weight loss is calories in and calories out. It's not the calories themselves, it's the type of calories that matter. So if they're carb calories, yes, they can make you gain weight. And if you drop carb calories, then you can lose weight. However, if you eat healthy fats, fats do not make you fat. And if you eat protein, then you do not gain weight. You just can't eat enough protein to make you gain weight unless you're very, very short. And so like I am at 5 feet tall, and so sometimes the amount of calories it takes to keep a short person going is not as much as, say, someone who's a foot taller. So of course that you have to take that into consideration. But for the most part, carbohydrates are the cause of weight gain. And so it's not about dropping calories, but you can, rather than drop calories, just drop the percentage by increasing protein. That's another talk for another day. However, dropping too low will increase metabolism. Will decrease metabolism. And by decreasing metabolism, what happens, your body gets really, really efficient at taking food and turning it into fat, because your brain does not want you to starve. And if your brain thinks you're starving, it will start storing everything you eat in order to make sure that the next time you don't get food, it has something to use to keep you alive. So dropping calories too low is often the reason. And or just drop. So instead of dropping them too low, simply shift what you eat. Drop your carbohydrates or increase your protein and healthy fats so that the amount of carbohydrates in your meal have dropped by percentage. The second thing I see is people over exercising, especially cardiovascular exercise. When you over exercise, your body puts out cortisol. So just like our brain doesn't want us to starve, it also doesn't want us to be eaten. So when we start doing things that raise our heart rate, what our brain thinks is that we're being chased by something that's trying to eat us. So it puts us in our fight or flight mode. When it puts you in fight or flight mode, your cortisol levels go up. And what again happens is cortisol pushes the body into diabetes. It just tries to push you towards diabetes. So if you're not diabetic, it will push you towards insulin resistance. If you're insulin resistant, it will push you towards prediabetes. If you're pre-diabetic, it will try to push you into diabetes. If you're diabetic already, it will make that diabetes worse. So the key is when doing exercise, do exercise that will increase your metabolism, and that is muscle work. Doing muscle work will raise your metabolism far more. It can also help with your moods. It helps you feel stronger overall. And so it just gives you a better sense of well-being. Not to mention the fact that muscle work now determines how healthy you're going to be later. So whatever you do now, you want to be able to do when you're 90 so that you can stay healthy for the rest of your life. So again, number one, dropping calories too low and therefore causing your metabolism to drop. And then number two is doing the wrong type of exercise so that you put your body actually into fight or flight mode rather than into metabolic mode, which is using muscle. And then the third thing that I see is ignoring the underlying causes of weight gain. We've been given a lot of misinformation of what causes weight gain: overeating, not exercising enough. When really what it is, it's our genetic predisposition to how we process food, the food that we eat. You can take two people, they can eat exactly the same thing. One person may gain weight, one person won't. The only difference is their genetics and their metabolism, or their genetics affecting their metabolism, or how their body processes food. The other, though, is when you have someone who eats whatever they want and they stay thin, what do we say? Oh man, they've got good genes. It must be their genes. It's because of how they were born and how, they can eat whatever they want and not gain weight. So if it's genetics that helps people not gain weight when they eat, then why isn't it genetics that makes people gain weight when they do? Because it is genetics. And so what happens is that, so we're just born with the genes that we've got. And so we need to hack them. One of the ways of hacking our genes is by making sure there's nothing underlying, like hypothyroidism, like insulin resistance, like depression, ADHD, anxiety, all the things that affect what our body does when we eat food. So if any of those things exist, they must be addressed because they're the cause of weight gain. There is no treatment for weight loss. I'm going to say this again. There is no treatment for weight loss. There is no such thing as a weight loss medication. However, there is medication to treat the reasons for weight gain. And when you treat the reasons for weight gain, the weight comes off. And so those are the three things that I see. Number one, dropping calories too low, therefore dropping metabolism. Number two, over exercising, raising cortisol, which leads to insulin resistance, which then causes fat production, very efficient fat production. And number three, ignoring our genetics, ignoring the cause of our weight gain, and therefore not addressing them head on. And the only way to lose weight and not gain it back is to go after the cause of weight gain, and that is metabolic causes, which would be thyroid or carbohydrate regulation or metabolism. And then the others would be underlying psychological reasons like depression or anxiety or ADHD, which affects our relationship to food and our body's reaction to food. And then three would be social. How were we socialized as children? How were we socialized around food? What were our attitudes about food? Do we have a scarcity mindset when it comes to food? And all of those things come from development through family and how we engage with food socially. However, you can still engage with food socially because whatever you do has to be healthy, that you can do with your family and do with your friends, and it doesn't pull you away from any of that. So again, I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer. I am a family medicine and community health physician who created my program around my own 100-pound weight loss. And so I have a program for patients where I help people lose weight, or I should say, gain health through weight loss and through complete and compassionate weight care, because that is really, really important. There is no shaming in this program whatsoever. We've been shamed enough, and it stops at my door. Don't allow it. The other is I treat other clinicians how to do the same. I've created a very lucrative practice. I work part-time. I make more than I did as a full-time family physician. There's lots of different ways of doing that. I pretty much tried every single one and have been successful in every one. I pivot when I feel like it because I like having complete control of my time, and I really like being financially independent and having a fulfilling financial life. So I now teach other clinicians how to do the same. And so either if you're a patient who wants my help to gain your health through your weight and getting your weight under control, then you can contact me directly through my website, drtoomer.com. If you're a clinician and you have patients who are begging you for help and they want treatment, because I am a huge advocate for weight health treatment, and an expert in weight health treatment, have been using GLP-1s and other medications for over 10 years. Yes, they're not new. They are old medications. In fact, I've even been on one for more than 8 years myself. So these are not new medications. So if you want an expert to teach you how to do that, how to monetize it, how to get your patients healthy, and also give yourself extra time and extra revenue, then contact me also through my website. I'd be happy to help, or at least give a consultation and point you in the right direction. So again, thank you for joining in, Dr. Catherine Toomer. I also have Dr. Toomer Talks on Tuesday evening. It's either me at 7:30 Eastern, 7 o'clock Eastern, here live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or I interview other experts in their field around health and wellness, and of course, weight care. Thank you for joining in. And hello, Brenda, Dr. Una, Dr. McStuffins, Natalie, and Kim. Thank you for joining in, and anyone else who's listened. Please add your comments below. I do read them. If you have questions, I love to teach. I love to answer them, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Bye.